Welcome to another program of Equal Spaces on Roots 96 FM. I am your host, Marcia.
And I'm a follower, Sade.
Our last program with Annie G was so inspiring that we were asked to repeat it last week. Of course, you notice she's a strong business leader who is not just in business for herself, but as she said, she wants to make a difference by teaching others what she has learned from her business and her personal experiences. 35 years in business, starting with a foot pedal sewing machine in a small room she called her office. Remember when she told you that she had to pull the machine in the bathroom and sat on the toilet because she didn't have a chair? Such an inspiring story. She was able to launch and grow Energy's fashion and now the Small Business Development Agency. Remarkable story.
Indeed, Marcia. On Equal Spaces, we try to bring our listeners inspiring and trending issues. This week is no different as we look at the issue of women, leadership, and the future. Should a woman be a leader? Do we have a future with more women as leaders? And with leadership, we're talking all spheres, the pastors, the board chair or the board president, whether on the school boards or company boards or even national or local government reps such as councillors.
Sade, there are some interesting perspectives out there from both women and men about women's leadership. Many argue that a woman's place is in the home. It is ungodly for a woman to be a pastor, some say. Women are too emotional and so they are not capable to make effective decisions, rendering them unqualified to be good leaders, and the list goes on. Although women gradually are getting involved in different spheres of leadership, be it political or otherwise, and given the slow progress, this was impossible some decades ago.
And that is so true, Marcia. In fact, back in the days, up to about 1938, women didn't even have voting rights, much less the right to be voted for. We have come a far way, and we have a much further way to go.
Far away indeed. Can you imagine no voting rights?
Marcia, you know that we have seen that despite successes in education, despite women running them business successfully, be it me a little business where you have your little restaurant or your little grocery store. So the thing is, women have those vital leadership qualities. And women continue to be severely underrepresented on boards, moving the thing higher up now, not just at a down the level where you run a little thing, run a little grocery shop. Step it up, yes. So we are underrepresented on boards and commissions in Jamaica because from statistics, when we look at the upper house, right, there are 8 women represented in the House of Representatives and 55 men. And there are, in the Senate, there are 5 women and 16 men. In the cabinet, we have 4 women, 16 men. In fact, overall, in the local government, we have 38 women and 190 men. So, boy, we really need to step up the pace.
Definitely. And you know what? You just read some real statistic, and that's very interesting. It makes me wonder, though, are there really barriers that keep women from offering themselves for leadership? Some argue that women are not socialized to take on position of leadership, but instead play a supportive role, for the family and in the public domain. Or often do we hear behind every successful man there is a woman?
We hear that often, but I have to say though that it's really beside every successful man there is a woman. And we see this manifestation also in the kind of jobs that women take on, nurses, secretaries, administrators. In fact, when we talk about supportive role, I know of plenty of women who really acting they are the acting treasurer or the acting manager. They are assistant to or deputizing for, you know, they are doing the work in the background. And in fact, there are persons who actually shy away from being like the chairperson or the president for even their local group.
Right.
For example, the PTA. How much parents listening now have been, you know, they could have been voted in as the chairperson or so, and they shy away from the position.
Another argument why women shy away from leadership, Shade, is that women's role as caregivers for the family often negates her ability to vie for any leadership position.
And as we know, you know, majority of households in Jamaica are headed by single mothers. So that argument may have some merit, you know.
Tell us for your own experience, why would you step up to the place of leadership? Because I know you've maintained a lot of leadership roles.
Well, in fact, why I had stepped up to the leadership position in Sistine Theatre Collective as the workshop director. Before that, I was just a member of the workshop team, but afterward, in a leadership position, I was a workshop director. And why I did that, I felt at the time I had amassed more experience, and I had proven that my experience now could be transferred to other members of the team. So it wasn't just seniority in terms of age, but senior in terms of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of what we were to do as a workshop team. And I learned at the time that as a leader, the followers depend on you. The followers in the team depended on me as an individual. So I was to make sure that what I do reflect consistency. What I did reflect commitment, and also, you know, it wasn't just me thinking about me, but every time I had was to think about myself and the members of the team. And in fact, if at the time the thrust of responsibility was far more on me, not that you're not responsible when you're a team member, you know, but it's far more now when you're a leader, because if anything goes wrong, I mean, you can't depend on the 5-6 members of the team to deal with the situation.
And you can't take yourself out
right.
of the responsibility.
You can't take for yourself. You can't take for yourself. So they're going to say, Shade, what should we do? I mean, or if someone says, who's in charge? It's Shade. So the responsibility becomes more when we are traveling. Whereas we can, you know, before that as a team member, you can sleep, you know, when you reach, you can have a little time to relax. As the leader, you have to make sure that the space is all right. You know, you always have to be at the forefront. Let
me jump in and ask, you know, Shade, because it's one of the question that we're bringing to the forefront. And let me just remind guests that our guest will be here shortly. Her name is Carla Watt. And so we go back to the issue of leadership, because a lot of people, as you mentioned earlier, and when you read those stats, when you mentioned of a 13% gap, in one of them, you mentioned that one of the responsibility why people shy away from leadership is the emotional side, the soft side of women, which is a natural fact. So when it comes to the table for decision making, you know, people shy away from that and thinking that women are not capable and so qualified to make a decisive decision. How would you answer a question like that, Shade?
Well, it is a fact that sometimes like it's like a label then. Boy, woman soft when it come to decision, they're not hardcore, they won't put down their feet, you know. And in fact, sometimes they're even challenged. I mean, as a woman, you can't be leader, because a leader have to be hardcore and tough, and you know. But sometimes it's not just the toughness, you know, to say, well, because you're in power, you have to, you know, have a tough ruling, or you know. But in whatever you do, you are doing it with a level of professionalism. And sometimes you have women who are either deputizing or assisting, or you know, at a level below, and they were actually helping the individual who was actually in the leadership role. And when they are asked to step up the pace,
They decline.
They decline. And the thing is, sometimes we us as women, we believe some of the things that he said. But boy, there are times when you're not going to show up because you have a responsibility for children and family obligations. But there are men who have responsibility for children and family obligations as well, and they deal with the leadership issues.
Just
right?
as same, Shade, that is powerful, and I'm glad you mentioned. So, in fact, we are going to put in now into this slot Superwoman by Alicia Keys, and this will definitely highlight some of the areas that people are talking about multitasking for women.
Nothing seems complete. I stand up and I'm searching for the better part of me. I hang my head from sorrow. So much state of humanity. What's up? Wearing on my shoulders, gotta find the strength in me. Why's that? 'Cause I am a superwoman. Yes, I am. Yes, she is. Still when I'm a mess, I still put on a vest with an S on my chest. Oh yes, I'm a superwoman. That's right. Yeah, this is for all the mothers fighting, for better days to come. They coming. And all my women sitting here trying to come home before the sun. And all my sisters coming together, say yes I will, yes I can. Why's that? 'Cause I am a superwoman. Yes I am. Sing it out, man. Yes she is. Still when I'm a mess, still put on a vest with an S on my chest. Oh yes, I'm a superwoman. When I'm breaking down and I can't be found, 'cause I start to get weak, 'cause no one knows me underneath these clothes, but I can fly. We can fly, oh, 'cause I am a superwoman. Yes I am. Yes she is. Still when I'm a mess, I still put on a vest with an S on my chest. Oh yes, I'm a superwoman. Yes she is. Oh, let me tell you, I am superwoman. Yes I am. Yes she is. Even when I'm a mess, I still put on a vest with an S on my chest. Oh yeah, I'm a superwoman. Yes I am. Said I'm a superwoman. Yes you
Okay, Welcome back, listeners. I was so enjoying Alicia Keys' Superwoman. I know a lot of our listeners must be feeling that energy and say, boy, so much things to do. Let me just welcome you back again officially. Women and Leadership, that's our topic. And we are on Roots 96.1 FM, Voice of the Inner City. And remember, you can join us, line number 335-8832 or digital number 407-5220. And now we're going to just go into our corner beat and listen a little more about women and leadership. We have something for you to hear.
Hi, I'm Camille. Welcome to another Corner Beat. Thank you, Marcia and Afolo Shade. This week on Corner Beats, we'll have women and leadership. Let's hear what's happening in our street. Hi, Katia. Do you believe that women are good leaders?
Yes, I believe that women are good leaders.
Can you tell me why?
From motherhood, I believe that women are good leaders. From the way how they grow, they have the responsibility to actually grow children. So that has developed them to be good leaders. And over the years, men have been the dominant gender, but that doesn't mean that they're better leaders than women. So I believe that.
Wow, we have somebody who's a little bit gender aware. I like it. So would you say that women are better able to lead than men in terms of the household, the economy, various areas in life?
Yes, I do. Because of the strains put on women from the society, I believe that women always rise to the occasion on being good leaders all the time. Because they're saying that, because men are always better and this job is male dominated. So because of that, women tend to rise to the occasion and become better leaders than men when they step into a position that a male would dominate.
Wow, that is a mouthful, don't it? Thank you so much, Katia, for sharing with us. Women rise to the occasion. Good evening, I'm Camille and I'm doing Corner Beats for my radio show program, and I would like to know your views on women and leadership. Do you believe that women are good leaders?
Yes.
Why?
Women are more patient than men.
So just because they're more patient, that means that they're a good leader?
Yes, they are.
So a characteristic of a good leader means that the person is patient, am I right?
Yes.
Give an example of a situation where women are better able to lead than men.
Our Prime Minister is a perfect example.
What are other characteristics that you would say a woman has that makes her a good leader?
Women know how to juggle. Women know how to handle situation. Women know how to turn things that seems impossible to be possible.
I do believe that if it is that we can make the impossible possible,
Yes.
we're good leaders. Am I right?
Yes, we are.
Do you consider yourself to be a good leader?
Most definitely.
Why would you say that though?
I run my household perfectly.
Wow, talk about a matrifocal home. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Thank you, Miss Fagan. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too.
Hi, I'm Camille, and you are?
I'm Grace.
Hi, Grace. Do you believe that women are good leaders?
Sure, we are. We are good leaders because a lot of women now are supervisors, boss, principal. Even when you go to the hospital, we are the head of most things in our country.
Could you give an example of a situation where women are better able to lead than men?
Well, for instance, even our woman prime minister.
Wow, that's the second one. But it is interesting to hear that everybody is saying women are the head of the household and our prime minister. Outside of that, there is a female pastor considered to be a good leader.
Yes.
Is a female judge a good judge?
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing with us.
You're welcome.
Good evening, I'm Camille, and you are?
I'm Deborah.
Hi, Deborah. Do you believe that women are good leaders?
I don't believe they are good leaders.
Wow, that is a shock. My mouth open, my eye open. Women are not good leaders. Let's hear what she has to say.
Alright, my reason for this is that I think women tend to let their emotions get the better of them in certain situations. So that in turn interferes with their work ethic, whereas men, I think, are more professional based on my experience.
I'm so sad to even hear that. But you know what? You have shown a difference because everyone that I've interviewed so far has said that yes, women are good leaders. So is it just our emotion that really makes us bad leaders?
I think that's a key factor. That's the only thing that comes to mind right now, but that is a key factor as to what would interfere with women and their leadership styles.
Although you said that women are not good leaders, so could you think of a situation where women are better able to lead than men?
The instance where they come under pressure from a male-dominated society, you will find where women strive to prove the male society or the masses wrong. So you'll find in a situation where, for instance, in the workplace is male-dominated, they have male managers. If there's one female manager, the pressure is on her to do her best. So she has to go all out and do her thing just to prove that though she's a woman, she can stand out.
Thank you so much for sharing with us, Deborah. That's it for Corner V's Guy. What's happening in our street? Women as leaders. We've heard it all. Women are good leaders, and then here comes Deborah to say, no, we're not good leaders because we're too emotional. But let's hear what's happening in our studios. Back to you, Marciana Felicia.
Thank you, Camille, and that was Corner Beat. That was very interesting. Welcome back, listeners, and for those who are just joining the program once again, the topic for this evening is women and leadership, and we are on Roots 96.1 FM, the voice of the inner city. And so now we're going, that topic on Corner Beat is very interesting.
In fact, when she said that, our mothers are good leaders, because without good leaders, we don't have good followers. And she's saying that one aspect of being a good leader from a mother is patience.
You know what was remarkable though? Of all the persons that was interviewed, most persons thought women make good leaders, and the fact that they did the home and the children, and yes, it's a tedious task, and it is in fact strenuous, because you have to balance the budget at home, and you have to do this, and you have to do mediation, you have to part this, you have to stretch that money, and there's so much roles and so much things that come into play at home. But there was also a listener that I found very interesting who said that women didn't make good leaders, and in fact she was also a woman, and she gave her views respectfully, and I respect that view, because you know what, it really add another flavor to the mix by showing some things that she thought make women not good leaders. And in truth and in fact, there are some issues that really hamper, and as you said, that women got the opportunity sometimes to step up, but because of whatever reason, sometimes we shy away from that leadership position, maybe because of insecurity, maybe because of lack of confidence, and we do get emotional, but at the same time we have to know time and place.
Right.
And so the point that she mentioned was a very valid point, because in her own experience, she's mentioning that she thought that made a poor leader.
But in addition to that though, I think that part of the argument about women being too emotional is that women at least show the honest side of themselves. So if a woman wants to cry, she will cry. If a woman wants to hug and be sympathetic, she will. And those are some of the emotions that some individual will say, well, boy, she a woman, that's why she's soft and so. But the thing is, in men, part of the reason why a man won't show some of these very emotions is how we socialize from boys right up to men, that you don't show these qualities. You show them at home, but not at the business place or in the boardroom or so. So the thing is, we always see men being, all right, let us get this, that side to them, that the power and the in control and so we just feel, well, once the emotion then come in, like the crying, the real side of ourselves come in, then it's really not good.
That's a valid point, because remember, is how we were socialized as people, and even in the business arena is a total different arena sometimes. And you find that people perceive that the showing of oneself, even in the one human self and human side, is a sign of weakness. You know, you cannot let the competition know what you're thinking. You know, these are things that aren't even taught in business school too, in terms of strategy and even the Porter's five forces. You know what I mean? So you have to look at things from a different and verbal perspective. Whilst I think women really, in terms of getting themselves ready for leadership, is another point that should be looked at.
Marcia, I have to step in here and even talk about one chunk of our, well, in the institution, women who are in leadership in institutions such as the school. Plenty women are principals, and I am certain that plenty of the principal position is because the male principals leave those positions, so it leaves it open for women to step in. And a lot of these roles, as principal roles, call for emotion, your real emotion, and I feel plenty of the men leave those positions because it calls for your true emotion. I mean, you can't be teaching children, or I mean, any institutions where there are children who have real needs, real emotional needs, and not be emotional.
Well, you know, you bring up a valid point, because that is one of the statistics that you mentioned about even women on boards. And some of the boards that women are selected for are like boards that deal with the emotional issues, like Child Development Agency, or the Adoption Board, or the, you know, some kind of board that deal with maternal or some care or nursing or caregiving role. And so that's what is stereotyped as what women's role, really moving from the home into the work arena, but yet still you still carry that nurturing attitude, and it is deemed that is the best fitted version for women in business. So really, this program is really directed at, you know, breaking down some of those stereotypes and mentioning persons who are in quiet leadership, that, you know, they have been very decisive leaders. They have been through challenging times. They have made decisions based on fact and empirical situations. They have not based their findings on emotional or gravitate because of a biasness. You know, they have made decisions, and so it is in our nature to tell Jamaican women aspiring for leadership is that when the opportunity comes, don't shy away, especially if you've been practicing in leadership for a while. Of course. And especially if you're qualified and you have the experience. Nobody knows everything at once. And surely leadership is a process.
Yes. In fact, I can remember listening to a conversation between two young persons, you know, two young women, and one was saying, you know, it's amazing sometimes when a woman becomes a leader, she behave like a man. She want, you know, she emulate the same, you know, she want to be like a man. You know, so it's like she have to be boisterous. She have, you know, the manly qualities. And the next young woman was saying, but it don't have to be, because I mean, if you know, portraying your real qualities, you don't have to you don't have to you know, compare yourself to a man or behave like a man. You don't have to take on the qualities of a man to be a good leader. You be the leader who, you know, that comes from the heart.
And you be a leader that individual, because each person have different leadership style. And as the program is deemed equal spaces, we're really now focusing on women in leadership. Yes, because a lot of women shy away from leadership, whether it be stereotyped or that, you know, for varying reasons, family commitments or otherwise. But the fact of the matter is, women are now stepping up to the plate. You mentioned earlier about women didn't even having the right to vote. Right. And I know a lot of listeners, sometimes when you mention these to them, they would say, no man, women are stepping up in Jamaica, man, and women are this. But you know what? You just read a statistic that shows empirically the facts. and that you
That
have a ratio.
although we're stepping up, the percentage still
is very small, and that
Small.
you have a house of representative where you have a certain amount of number, and to that number you have one in every female.
Yes.
And so that is still a small percentage of women who can aspire to leadership and you know, take on those challenging roles.
Yeah, and to me, when if we have such a gap, you know, are the scales so unbalanced, then we'll be hearing the voice, most of the voice of males, the males who are in leadership. So we won't be hearing messages, you know, to our society coming from women if we keep staying in the background and not stepping up in, you know, to the higher calling. And sometimes I wonder, well, we'll start to touch on some of what hinders women from stepping up to the a higher, you know, one step higher into leadership roles, you know.
I do
wonder
believe
why.
the issue of emotional, in terms of the displaying of emotions and how decisive a leader it is, that in every, even in Corner Beat when it was being played, and a few persons, when you do a census, they'll give you a feedback that, you know, sometimes is it possible for a woman to give a decisive action in terms of, for example, you know, terminate an employee, for just cause, or is it, can you say no to every donation that you have received, even though there are challenging times and you might receive 1,000 donation letters requesting donation for the most volatile communities.
Yes.
But how many of those letters can you reasonably accept?
Okay.
And so these are decisive things that, yes, they'll play on your factor because, you know, these are challenging times, but are they able to separate emotion from a factual decision and make those decisions based on, you know, what the budget says, or communicate with other persons without bringing that
I would
softer
say,
side to
of course,
the,
because remember that what qualifies you to be a leader are the very same, as a woman, are the same qualification that the man will have in terms of the finance or in terms of if he's giving counseling. But let me go back to the stats that we have are really, you know, about women who are actually in the parliament, right? And when we really check it out, there are some women who they don't want to be in the leadership position because they are afraid that boy, being the female of the species, you don't want to deal with you know, gunman, you know, want to deal with making decisions where gonna make individual feel that them bring on make you feel fearful of them. And a lot of women say, well, boy, when it come to politics, is really a rough water to tread. So they will really stay in the background and not go forefront, because if they go forefront, then you have to deal with too much. You have to brave. You have to pick up your chest, and you know, you have to really go in, face violence and so. And we live in such a violent society that sometimes when it comes to the political aspect,
you have to be
women
careful.
don't really want to, you know, go into certain leadership positions.
And they do have merit in saying so. And just to go back again, women do have a lot of commitments, because you really have to maintain your home. You can't be out there maintaining outside and you're not paying attention to your home. And that's and to me, you know, that's a factor. And also when you talk about children, and if you have, you know, aged persons that you are responsible for, that's another factor. So they do. It is a valid point that they shy away from a certain position because it becomes overbearing, and then you have some women who are going to school, you know, afterwards. So it becomes a real challenge. Sometimes they're unable to come to the fore because of varying reasons. But I'm going to stop talking now because one of our guests has arrived, and her name is Carla Watts. And I'm just going to, because of time limit now, we're just going to ask her to jump in quickly and tell us about herself, and of course give us a little chat on the topic women and leadership. Carla, welcome. I know it's challenging for you to get here, but thank you for coming. I want you to just quickly introduce yourself and tell us about, you know, give us a little idea about women and leadership and your experience. Go ahead. Wow, that's all right. Go ahead.
Yes, you can breathe.
All right. Go ahead, Carla.
Good evening. My name is Carla Watt. I'm Councillor Carla Watt from the Maypen West Division, which is situated in Central Clarendon.
All right, what inspired you to offer yourself as a leader?
I was born in a community in Maypen by the name of farm, which is in Sevens Road. And then I leave in the 1980s, based on circumstances, to Canaanites, which is a very violent-prone community.
Okay.
I want to say a upliftment for my community and for Maypen and Awol.
Okay.
How did you start out?
I started out with my aunt at age 11,
Okay.
going to meetings with her. She was an indoor agent for the
Okay.
People's National Party.
So your aunt helped you to take on this role then?
Yes, she's beside me right through my family.
Okay, so you were groomed for leadership, in essence. So there ends, I would say that you had family support, and of course, when challenging time came, you could have rapped back because you had the experience of a person who was before you to, mentor you on that journey.
Yes.
Would you encourage women to step really into politics?
Especially young women.
Young women?
Yes. I
Why?
need more ladies
Why?
Why?
stepping forward. It's really hard, but to me, for a better Jamaica, you need more women in politics.
All right, that's a powerful message. I like that. For a better Jamaica, because right now we talk about equal spaces, and I know Carla is coming from far, and it's unfortunate we have to just bite and weave now.
Yes.
But the key point is that for a better Jamaica, whatever we do as a nation, we have to do it together in unity, regardless of what fence that we are on, and that is very critical. And so women also must play a factor and a role. And we have a young woman here with us. She saw a need in our community. Community was violent, and she thought that she could have made a change and make a difference by participating. In other words, you didn't stay on the fence. Right?
And
Tell
you're
us the
still in
most.
it.
Are you still in it? I want you to
Yes.
tell our listeners the most challenging experience you have ever experienced in this leadership position. The most challenging.
The most challenging is based among the youths, especially young men, dropouts of school.
Okay. All right. So that's a big one, And
Yes.
what you intend to do about it? What are your thoughts? What system do you think we could put together as a nation, and as getting more people on board with it to challenge that change for unification?
It's really a tough challenge because being in the politics, CSJP has come on board and has brought in a program in one of the various communities which I'm from, Canaanites. And majority of the youth don't grasp to it
Okay.
because to me they want rich, quick
Okay.
money now.
Yes.
And anything they're doing, they ask you, what is in it for me? So it's a challenge where I feel each and every one of us, business persons, civil society, churches, everyone on a whole,
Have to play a role.
come together and play a role. Because to me, being a product of the violent community,
Yes.
I know there is better in any one of
Better
those
can come
communities.
about.
But we all need to come together and work together, and until the heads realize that working together to bring the poorer class of people to a level where they can live and live comfortable, then Jamaica will be a better place.
I am happy for that point, and thank you very much, Carla Watts. Though it is a small amount of time that we had with you, but the points were powerful. An African proverb mentioned, knowledge is like a garden. If it is not cultivated, it cannot be harvested.
Truly.
It is in our intention on Equal Spaces to edify our listeners so we have a better future. And you mentioned about future. One final word before we go, though, I would just want to mention to listeners again, Equal Spaces is definitely produced by WMW Jamaica, aired on Roots 96.1 FM, the voice of the inner city. I want to thank to my co-host, Sade, and our guest, Carla, even though it was small, but it little but it's talawa. And of course, all our listeners, and thanks to Mr. Donny Thompson, and our hard-working team of WMW Secretariat. Big up on yourself. And thanks to you, our listeners who sit 5 to 6 and listen to us. We have to say a big thank you for the broadcast is funded by UN Women, Fund for Gender Equality. Please join us next week at 5 p.m. when we'll share the space with you again. And we're going to leave you with this song, Beautiful Sisters by Tammy Chin, Tessan Chin, and Alaine and Queen Ifrika. Let's live in one, live in love, and walk good.
SISTA. As we face another day, beautiful. As women,
we have to stand up.
Beautiful,
Ale, Tessan, Tammy,
beautiful.
Queen Africa, you know.
Keep your head up, you fall but you get up. True Empress, you're so beautiful, sister beautiful. Them can't stop you, no weapon they bring shall prosper. You got blessed, you're so beautiful, sister beautiful. Every trial, every fear, every tear that you shed, it's okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Every time that you're down and you outlift your head, no matter what they do or say, whatever comes your way. Keep your head up, you fall but you get up. True Empress, you're so beautiful, sister beautiful. They can't stop you, no weapon they bring shall prosper. You got blessed, you're so beautiful, sister beautiful. Every lie that he told, every dream that you stole when they tried to break your heart. Listen up, you should know time's up, let it go. They can't tear you apart. It can't break you, you will break through. Always, you'll be still. Keep your head up, you fall but you get up. True Empress, you're so beautiful, sister beautiful. They can't stop you, no weapon they bring shall prosper. You got blessed, you're so beautiful, sister beautiful.
We're not afraid of the circumstances we take on the road with perseverance. Are you and your God alone, one thing for your mind if you reach home to the little mouths to feed. And you provide every little thing that the family need all when the pressure come from every angle. You're strong like a lioness in the jungle, never sell out the grace so you keep it humble.
They can't stop us, get up. They can't hold us, get
never, you know.
Got bills to pay, can't see the way. The world is on your shoulders. They can't rule us, get up. Can't control us, get up. Times are rough, girl, reach up. The strength you have is enough.
Even if you have to do it by your own, no, nothing. The Almighty are gonna do the fear, you see it. We sisters got to hold on. It's just a part of life, you see it.
Keep your head up. You fall but you get up. True Empress, you're so beautiful, sister beautiful. They can't stop you, no weapon they bring shall prosper. You got blessed, you're so beautiful, sister beautiful. Keep your head up, you fall but you get up. True Empress, you're so beautiful, sister beautiful. They can't stop you, no weapon they bring shall prosper. You got blessed, you're so beautiful, sister beautiful. Beautiful sister, you are beautiful, sister.
Be strong, yeah. No matter where you come from,
Don't
you know.
you give
Uptown, downtown, even in the countryside. Hold your pride.